Disclosure is very much a personal thing, and I think you can only decide yourself who you want to open up to. There are risks in opening up. You can be shunned by people, especially people who might be ignorant about the subject. But it's a personal decision. I think you kind of know. I think you know who are the close friends who are going to support you.
I think disclosing is a very complicated thing. But having said that, there's got to be a reason why you're telling people your status, because I can't find myself going about saying, I'm diabetic, I've got liver problem. Because a person is made up with so many things. I mean, it's like an orange with so many segments. Why are you picking a small segment to talk about when you are a whole person?
HIV becomes the most important and yet the most irrelevant thing about us. It's important because I guess, how people respond to that affects our ongoing relationship, friendship, whatever. So it is important. It almost becomes a bit of a litmus paper, really. How does somebody respond to this information? But it's also the least relevant thing about me. Yes, I'm HIV positive, but I am so very much more.
What makes it really difficult or challenging for a lot of people is a fear around exactly what you said. You don't know how people are going to take it, and they can only take it two ways. They can either embrace you and support you and accept you, or they can ostracize you and stigmatize against you. So you can't control that. And so it's really, really important for the person who's going to tell or to talk about the status to be prepared. I think that's a really key thing. Be prepared for whatever reaction comes, know where you can go for support, but be in control of that action, because talking about your status is a journey. It is just not one act, because you tell and then people think about it, and then the next thing, probably if you imagine you're telling somebody who knows nothing about HIV, for example, even if it's within a congregation, there will be people who will have questions, and they might come up to you and start asking, so what is this HIV? And so if you don't have those basic facts, you're going to be stuck.
You really have to own it. You really have to be like, I'm living with HIV. You need to tackle it head on. And I think that's how you approach the no-nos. As soon as, conversations have gone from HIV to, we're talking about AIDS. No, let's bring it back. Those aren't interchangeable terms. And you're on my turf now. So we're going to discuss this in the way we need to.
So when you do decide to talk, you need to have those very basic things about, what is HIV, how is it passed on, how can you prevent it, what is treatment, just very basic things that people who are totally ignorant about it will ask you. And they only ask you because actually I don't know.
Yeah.
So that you don't think, oh, why do you want to know all these things? So it's just having those, but being in control of the situation and talking about your status from a position of power. And I don't mean power as in, I just mean it's yours to own. Yeah. So I'm actually talking to you about my status because I choose to, and I've trusted you enough, and I feel I can take whatever reaction you give me. So I think that's really, really key. So to be prepared, have the information, and do it from a position of power. I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, it is definitely a journey, and I think you have to be ready for it. No one must ever pressure you to share your status with anybody. And and I think you begin small and you tell a few people, and then you think, oh, that's okay. And the more you do it, and then that does empower you. And every time you get a good experience, it reaffirms, who you are, and then you can carry on and do it further. And I think, for me at the beginning, before I told anyone, it was like I was living in the shadows, and I felt a bit ashamed, even though I had nothing to be ashamed about. But then as you go on that journey, you think, wow, this is good. People still love me, people still respect me, and the few people that don't, I'm not worried about them. They can just go away.